Welcome back to Knowlton Stadium after a stirring halftime show by both marching bands and some fantastic twirling done by the majorettes in this wind with fire batons.
I know, we were down there and we were pretty amazed at what they were doing, Rich.
Well, Al, this is a pretty amazing game anyway. 3-0, Woburn lead. Winchester twice stopped on drives by some great defense on Woburn. This is a game full of emotion. And I'll tell you something, 2 consecutive fake punts for first downs by Woburn make this one for the history book.
It really does. This is going to be something that they're going to talk about for Thanksgiving Day games to come down the road. I mean, who would have thought that, the Woburn team pinned down deep that they would fake it? I had a feeling that they were going to try something, a trick gadget, something to get the team sparked, and it worked.
The second half, the Sachems have opted to receive.
Well, they did. Well, Winchester has chosen to receive. They are defending the goal to our left, which means in the fourth quarter they will get the wind. This is it. They need to put together some offensive drives and put some points on the board.
20 minutes to a victory. I just want to point out one quick thing that, I talked about Rocky Nelson. The team is a 3-7 mark this year. Certain breaks didn't go Woburn's way because they could easily be in the hunt for the Middlesex League title, Rich.
It's a tough league. I mean, there really isn't a whole lot of difference from the top to the bottom on that, and breaks mean a lot.
Yeah.
We'd like to say one thing. The crowd is incredible here today. They're ringing the field, and we'd like to once again tip our hats, but we won't tip them too much in this cold weather, but we'll tip our hats to the Winchester Police Department for a great job of crowd control today.
Really, excellent job, guys.
And number 7, Matt Hoagland.
And while we have this opportunity, we also want to thank Dave Berman of Winchester High, the athletic director, who's been such a big help to us, Rich.
Absolutely. He's been invaluable. Brian Newman will be kicking off for Woburn. Brian D'Entremont, Matt Hoagland, and Jeff King back to receive the ball. Ball comes up short, taken by Brad Murphy. And he gets the ball out over the 35-yard line to the 36, where the Sachems will begin the second half, 1st and 10.
Well,
field position.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Winchester needs to have good field position in this opening drive just to get themselves back into this football game, because a lot of momentum has been taken out of the Winchester Sachems. That, when the Woburn field goal kicker, Brian Newman, kicked that field goal 38 yards, it took the sail out of the Winchester team.
Well, it definitely has to. Establishing momentum at the end of the half is important, especially knowing that Winchester was going to get the ball.
But knowing this Winchester team, knowing Coach John Donahue, and knowing the coaching staff, they'll get that momentum right back.
Winchester comes out 1st and 10 on the 37 in a double wing formation. Ball is handed off to Jeff King around the left end. He turns the corner, breaks clear at the 50 to the 40. One man to beat. And he's brought down on the 17-yard line of Woburn. A pickup of 44 yards.
That's what the Sachems needed. They needed a big play on offense, and they came up with it well executed.
Okay, here's the replay on that. A fake to Ryan Duffy in the middle and a pull, 2 guards pulling and a sweep around the left side. King breaks down the sideline, fakes out one man, and that slowed him up enough for the safety to get over and make the tackle. 1st down and 10 now for the Sachems. Ball on the 17-yard line. Ball's handed off around the right. Brian D'Entremont, trying to turn the corner, is knocked out of bounds on about the 15, pickup of about 2.
You can already see the adjustments that the Winchester coaching staff has made. They're going to try the end arounds. They're going to try the sweeps. They're going to try the things that have made them successful all season long.
Al, you were talking about how they needed to do something to change momentum. A 44-yard gain on the first play from scrimmage does that.
Exactly.
2nd and 8 for the Sachems at the 18-yard line.
Ball's handed off to D'Entremont up the middle, gets down close to the 10-yard line.
Well, sometimes you need 2 quarters to make the adjustments, and you have to see what's going on. You have to see what your opponent is throwing at you. You really can't make those adjustments until halftime, until you know what you're facing. And I think Coach John Donahue and his coaching staff realized that this is going to be a defensive battle, and they had to make those adjustments.
3rd down and 4 on the 11. Ball's handed off up the middle. It's going to be very close to the 1st down.
If he missed it, he didn't miss it by much, Rich.
Ball carried by number 20, Brian Dontramont. He's met on the play by number 53, Eric Farnkopf.
Brian Dontramont picked up about 3 on that play. It's going to bring up a 4th down and about 2 yards to go on the 8-yard line.
Just inside the 10 or 10-yard line.
This is it. This is the play. Wishbone formation behind Jeremy Carroll. Eric Seamus split to the left. 4th and 2. Carroll keeps the ball himself, breaks down inside the 5, and is tackled on the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for the Sachems.
You see those defensive adjustments and those offensive adjustments that the Winchester Sachems made. You're seeing a big difference so far in this football game early in this half, Rich. Jeremy Carroll saw nobody open. He knew he wasn't going to get an opportunity to go up the middle, had an opportunity to swing it left, and he took advantage of it.
Brings up a 1st and goal on the 2. Carroll there, you see on the replay, breaks a couple of tackles. The second effort got him the 1st down and almost got him the touchdown. Single setback behind Carroll. Ryan Duffy gets the ball right up the middle, touchdown.
What is the game of football? Game of football is momentum. And we have flags on the play. We'll have to wait and see if the touchdown holds up.
Referee signals touchdown, and after the touchdown, a personal foul on Winchester.
Well, I saw the football go up in the air as a signal of, victory, and you really can't do things like that.
Get out of there! Pull the flag on Nelson, he's on the field! Can't play the game, this kid's out.
Al, I understand certain parts of the no celebration rule about taunting opponents, but this is a big game. Somebody scores a touchdown and throws the ball up in the air. It's a shame to see that turn into a 15-yard penalty.
I'll tell you what, that's a tough call to make, and I'm sure the officials don't want to make that call, especially on Thanksgiving. Tough call.
And it's a crucial call because it makes it harder for the point after.
But the important thing is that the Winchester Sachems have scored.
It's 6-3 now. Winchester will be going for 2 from the 18-yard line. And Carroll runs the option, turns the corner, but is swarmed under, and the point after attempt is no good.
And 3 minutes into the second half, the Sachems lead the Tanners.
7 minutes and
6-3.
7 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter, and it's 6-3. Here's the touchdown play again. Ryan Duffy right up the middle. And he threw the ball up from inside the pile, and that's where the penalty marker got thrown. I'm sorry, Al. I don't even think that goes with the spirit of the law.
The drive goes 6 plays, 63 yards. The play takes 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And the key was Jeff King's 46-yard run.
On the first play from scrimmage in the half, and that's, if you want to change momentum, that's the best way to do it. Come out and dominate immediately. Because momentum is a flighty thing. It doesn't stay with you automatically. Now it's time for Woburn to see what they can do about momentum.
Step back to receive for the Tanners. Number 10, Winston Michael.
Scoring that first 6 points is always the toughest. You're playing at home, you're playing in front of the hometown fans, the nerves, the butterflies are running through. But after you get that 6 points, then you start getting the momentum, you start feeling really good about yourself, you start getting the confidence back, and I think the Sachems have got that confidence back.
Kickoff goes down to Nathan Driscoll, brings the ball straight up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, and is finally brought down just inside his own 35-yard line.
Captain Nathan Driscoll.
Ball will be spotted on the 44, 1st and 10 for the Tanners.
15, Eric Seamus.
Again, Eric Seamus having a big game as in his final game as a Winchester Sachem.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Tanners on their own 34-yard line.
Again, we remind the viewers at home, stick around because we're going to have our player of the game. We're going to have a Woburn player as well as a Winchester player. And Rich and I have a few ideas as to who it might be.
Many ideas right now. 1st and 10. Ball handed off up the middle. Derek Bruno takes the ball up for a gain of about 9 yards.
By number 77, Captain John Fader.
Not quite a first down. John Fader making the tackle again.
Derek Bruno is definitely a guy you want to try to contain here in the second half, because in the first half he got a couple of big runs that kept the Tanners in the football game. You don't want a guy like Derek Bruno getting open and getting 9-10 yards.
2nd and 1. What do you think, Al? You think they'll go deep?
They might.
And we have a timeout. Captain Ryan Duffy did not see something he liked on the offensive formation and call timeout.
Well, that's good heads-up thinking.
Again, actually 12 guys in the field as I count them on the way off.
Well, that's good heads-up call by Ryan Duffy. Rather than take the flag, he took the timeout to avoid the flag and give Woburn better field position.
And give them a first down.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's something they have to get together from the sideline in. As we get into a close game, we talk about timeouts that are wasted.
That could come back to hurt them.
The penalty is a problem immediately. The timeout wasted could be a problem down the road.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day here today, Al. We've got sunny skies, partly cloudy, nice big white clouds. It's a beautiful Thanksgiving day here in New England.
Yeah, really. The fans are out supporting both their teams, and a special hello to the Woburn fans out there watching this telecast. Happy Thanksgiving. I'll tell you, so far in this game, if there've been players that have made an impact, it has if you're Woburn, it has to be number 26, Brian Newman, and also Nathan Dresser.
And let's not forget Woodson Michael, the punter.
Yeah, absolutely.
2nd down and 1. Johnson is back to throw. He is wide open on the outside. There is a flag on the play in the middle of the field. The pass was completed
Pass is complete to number 10, Woodson Michael.
to Woodson Michael for a gain of...
The flag down on the play.
It may come back.
A gain of about 20 on the play, but the penalty is against the Tanners.
Push downfield against the Tanners.
You can see Rocky Nelson is really fighting up on that call.
The Woburn staff is not happy with that.
That's the Rocky Nelson that I know. He gets really fired up.
And the call was offensive pass interference on Woburn, and that is a killer.
Anyone that says Rocky Nelson is not a fired-up coach hasn't watched him.
That's a 35-yard swing out. That was a 20-yard gain turned into a 15-yard penalty.
We talked about no flags in the first half. Now the flags are coming out of everywhere.
29-yard line.
Maybe we shouldn't have said anything to the officials at halftime.
2nd down and 14 yards now to go. 2nd down and 15, actually. Ball's handed off to Nathan Driscoll, who is stopped for a loss of 1. Tackled by Scott Penna.
Scott Penna has been that big force. After being out in the second game of the year, he's really come on and been such an impact for that Winchester defense. As you saw right there, you see why he's been a major contributor to that Winchester defense.
You know, John Fader's been making a lot of tackles today, but a lot of that has to do with Scott Penna occupying 2 blockers himself.
Right. On defense, you have to work as a team. One guy knows his role. He has to be able to do that, and the other guy has to be able to come in and finish it off.
3rd down and 16 now for Woburn. two wide receivers to the far side of the field. Driscoll in motion to the near side. Johnson goes back. He's looking over the middle, incomplete. And a flag comes in late.
The pass is incomplete. To number 10, Woodson.
Could be interference.
Down on the play.
And Al, I believe there was contact before that ball got there.
You know, we talk about officials making bad calls, but I think that's a very, very good call.
No, it was. There was contact before the ball got there. It was a catchable ball, and that'll give a first. That should be an automatic first down for Woburn. No, actually, it's a defensive holding call, not a pass interference call. He was held before the ball was thrown. It's a 5-yard penalty.
That's why I indicated that it was a very good call by the officials. He did hold him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, our
and an automatic first down.
Again, our officiating crew: Chris Smith, the referee; Jim Monagle, the umpire; Andrew Smith, the field judge; and Steve Casarano, the linesman. And I'll tell you what, Chris Smith and Andrew Smith come from a long line of officials. Their dad, Gene Smith, a longtime official, having been in the game for 40 years, they learned a great deal from their dad.
First down and 10 now for Woburn. Ball on their own 39-yard line. Driscoll trying to get around the left side. Hit and stopped by a host of Sachems, including John Fader.
That time the Winchester defense did a great job. They just didn't send one guy, they sent 3 guys to bring him down. That's what you have to do. You know one guy's not going to bring a guy like him down. You have to send 2 or 3 guys to make the stop. One to make the initial stop, and then the other guys to finish it off.
That play was made by Matt Hoagland, who went outside on outside contain and turned the play in and gave the rest of the defense time to get there. Second down and 9 now. Ball right on the 40-yard line of Woburn. Driscoll in motion. Johnson back to throw. He's looking deep. And incomplete. Ball is thrown slightly out of bounds. Intended for Mike Callahan.
I'll tell you what, that was a tough play to come up with, especially with the wind blowing the way it is right now.
And that definitely was affected by the wind. The wind made the ball sail to that side of the field.
I'll tell you what, if the wind wasn't blowing, I think number 20 would have definitely come up with that ball, Mike Callahan, because that would have been a terrific catch.
That brings up a third down and 9.
I think you're going to see John Fader and maybe Scott Pennant trying to get off the line and get to the quarterback. Excuse me, the wind is blowing here a little bit.
Jeff Davis has come in on defense now, out of playing cornerback. Shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers. Winchester fakes the blitz. Johnson goes back, still looking deep on the outside. And again, the ball sailed with the wind.
Pass is incomplete to number 14, Chris Callahan.
I'll tell you what.
Intended for Callahan. Again, it sailed in the wind, but it was well covered.
Winchester did a great job of shutting down the receivers so that Billy Johnson did not have an open receiver to get the ball to, but also give the defense a lot of credit. They really put some pressure on Billy Johnson that time, forcing him to throw the ball away.
Fourth down now and 9. Again, Woodson Michael in the punt, and you never know. If he does punt, it gets a pretty good punt away. Fair catch called by Jeff King on the 30-yard line, and the Sachems will take over their 1st and 10. Good defensive stop.
Really, great job by the defense. This is what they need. They need some good defensive stops because the football game is now winding down with 4 minutes and 34 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. And in the 4th quarter, anything can happen. If you're Winchester, you want to put as many points on the scoreboard as you can. What you want to do is stay on the ground. I think if you stay on the ground, you will be more effective.
Ball handed off to Brian D'Entremont, stopped for a gain of maybe a yard.
9, 4, 6, 4.
What the Winchester defensive guys up front need to do, the front 4 or the front 5, they need to open up the holes and allow D'Entremont to get the big yardage that he's looking for. Looking for the 5, looking for the 6, looking for the 7, and looking for the 8 yards.
Just over 4 minutes left to play. 6-3 Winchester. Second down and 9 yards to go. Ball on their own 31-yard line. Triple option. Carroll turns the corner on the left, breaks one tackle. He has the first down, and he is free down the sideline. Down to the 30, to the 20. Bye-bye, he's gone. No flags. Touchdown, Jeremy Carroll. Unofficially 69 yards for the touchdown.
What can you say? We've said everything about this Winchester team. When they needed a big play, they responded. Jeremy Carroll had that opportunity. He was looking to get a touchdown to add to his accomplishments this season. And how appropriate is it for Jeremy Carroll to go 69 yards and get that 6 points? Just a great job by Jeremy Carroll, working the triple option so effectively. At the beginning of the season, when he was called upon to fill in at the quarterback spot, Coach John Donahue and him talked. He said to Coach John Donahue, how can I work that triple option? Coach Donahue said, be patient, work with it. And he's been successful with it.
Going for 2 on this play. Ball handed off to Dontremont around Carly, and he gets the 2. 2-point conversion is good to Dontremont.
And with 3:43 remaining in the third quarter, the Patriots continue to lead the team.
And now here's the replay of the touchdown run by Jeremy Carroll. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles, and he's gone down the sideline. Strong running by Jeremy Carroll on that play.
That's one other thing that he possesses so well is speed. There are not too many quarterbacks in the Middlesex League that have it all with speed as well, and Jeremy Carroll definitely has the whole package.
Well, I'll tell you, Al, this really is heartening for the people here in Winchester to see that they have a talent that's going to be here next year with a year of seasoning, a half a season of seasoning in them that they didn't expect him to get.
I'll tell you what, if this Winchester team brings back the same caliber of people that they had this season, they're once again going to challenge in the Middlesex League, and they're going to send out a message to the rest of the league. Hey, this year was no fluke. We're definitely a team on the rise in '98. All right, the team has no Middlesex League title on the line. They have no Super Bowl, but they're really showing something out there that a lot of teams may not have, and it's called character.
They certainly do. They came back after that tough first half, and now they've made a statement. With 3:43 left to play in the third quarter, they lead 14-3. Kickoff going down to Woodson Michael. Sits and dies. He picks it up on the 21. Is hit once, but breaks free to the outside. Another good move, and he's still on his feet, and he's brought down on the 48-yard line, where he turned nothing into a big something.
Well, those are the Woburn guys. You don't count them out because they can electrify you with some great pieces of running. And there you saw another great piece of running just when the Winchester team thought they had him contained. He turns it into a great play. You know, touching on the character thing just for one quick second, character isn't just made. It's built on coaches. And the coaching staff here at Winchester High are a great bunch of guys that don't say 1 or 2 guys are stars. The whole team is a star, and that's why this team is successful.
Ball handed off up the middle to Nathan Driscoll, who picks up a good 14 yards and a quick first down for Woburn.
Nathan Driscoll just finds that hole down the middle, and he takes advantage of it and picks up 14 yards.
Let's watch this again on the replay. Good blocking up front opened up the hole for Driscoll.
A lot of people fail to realize something, that a good back has to get a good hole to follow. And the Woburn Tanners that time opened up a great hole for him.
At the 39-yard line.
The back can't do it all on his own. Just ask Barry Sanders. First down and 10 for Woburn. Ball on the Winchester 38-yard line. Johnson breaks out of the pocket, throwing deep. And again, the ball sails a bit in the wind and goes out of bounds. His intended receiver was Mike Callahan.
I'll tell you what, the Winchester team did a great job of fleshing out Bobby Johnson that time, allowing him to throw the ball outside of the pocket where he was not comfortable throwing that ball.
At the Sachem 37-yard line.
Brings up the 2nd and 10 for the Tanners.
It seems now with 14 points on the scoreboard for the Sachems, the defense is really fired up. They're doing things that they normally wouldn't do. They're getting off the ball. They're getting at Bobby Johnson. They're shutting down the receivers, not allowing the receivers to get into good passing lanes where Johnson would have a clear shot at throwing a good pass.
2 wide receivers to the far side of the field on 2nd and 10. Ball's handed off to Driscoll up the middle. He picks up about 2 yards.
Ball carried by number 44, Captain Nathan Driscoll. He's taken down on play by number 72, Matt Dearman.
Matt Dearman made the tackle for the Sachems.
Again, this is a team. This is not this is not 1 or 2 guys that are stars on this Winchester team. Everybody has a role and everybody does their job. And that's why Winchester football is successful year in and year out. I can't think of a bad season that Winchester has had since I've been fortunate enough to be doing these games.
3rd down and 7. Driscoll again gets the call, and this time he's hit and stopped for a gain of 1 yard.
Number 44, Captain Nathan Driscoll. He's tripped up on the play by number 58, Scott Penna.
Scott Penna broke through the line there and made the stop in the backfield. Driscoll's power got him through for a yard. Great play by Penna.
And you see why Scott Penna is such a force on that defense. When Scott Penna wasn't in that defense, Winchester really had problems, as we saw early in the game.
That's right. Fourth down and 6 now for the Tanners. Big play. Johnson rolls out to the right, and he is stopped, hit and stopped by Matt Dearman.
Jacked on the play by number 72, Matt Dearman. That'll be a turnover on downs, 1st down Sachems.
Again, Matt Dearman does a great job of reading Billy Johnson and makes the good stop.
Okay, let's go watch that on the replay again. Johnson's rolling out, but Dearman was there. The block coming out of the backfield, he ran right by the blocker and dragged him down by his jersey.
I think Dearman just got 2 steps and was able to get him by the jersey and bring him down, as you said, Rich.
Minute and 21 left in the 3rd quarter, and the Sachems have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 37. And Carroll fakes. Jeremy Carroll faked to Ryan Duffy up the middle and took the ball off tackle himself to pick up 11 yards in the 1st down.
It looks like there's a flag on the play, but I'm not really sure. It is.
And it's being tacked on after the run.
Carroll has 12 rushes for 128 yards.
That's a face mask penalty against the Tanners.
It's an inadvertent face mask called on Woburn, a 5-yard penalty tacked on the end of the run. Be 1st and 10 for the Sachems on the 46-yard line of Woburn. Ball's handed off around the right end. Jeff King, and we have a flag thrown. We have 2 flags thrown. King picked up about a yard, but we'll wait to see what the call is. Looked to me like a holding call, Al.
James Edwards, how are you, sir?
And it is offensive holding against the Sachems. That'll push them back 10 yards.
It's an offensive holding penalty against the Sachems. That'll push it back 10 yards. It'll be 1st and 20 for the Sachems from their own 41-yard line.
Again, that'll bring up a 1st down now. And about 24 yards to go. All on their own 41-yard lines for Winchester. Carroll fakes to Duffy and turns the right corner. Gets over midfield and is brought down on about the 47-yard line. Picked up about 12.
I'll tell you what, Jeremy Carroll is an excellent quarterback. The future is bright for the Winchester Sachems, especially a quarterback. Does a great job of faking out the Woburn defense.
For the Sachems from the Tanner 46-yard line.
Again, what a difference the second half makes, Rich, for the Winchester Sachems. A lot of people counted the Winchester Sachems out in this football game, and they've responded extremely well in the second half.
Can down play again, fakes the ball up the middle. This time Carroll is stopped and swarmed under for a loss of a yard. Well, Woburn played the first half on emotion to a great extent, Al.
He's taken down by number 30, Derek Bruno.
And emotion and momentum, Al, are a big thing. And in all honesty, Woburn played on emotion and got the momentum. But when the adjustments were made in halftime, and here's where Coach Donahue comes in to create the emotion on the Sachems and to come out in the second half and dominate the Woburn team the way they have so far.
Well, you know, the Winchester coaching staff is a staff that's been together for a number of years. They learned under a great coach, Manny Marshall, who instilled a lot of good things to his assistants, to his young John Donahue, to a young John Pirani. He taught the things that he needed to talk that would make Coach John Donahue a good, successful head coach. And look at the program that Manny Marshall left here in Winchester and put in the hands of Coach John Donahue. And Coach Donahue has taken a game page from Manny Marshall's playbook and has used that successfully.
As we begin the fourth quarter now, and we're watching the Winchester cheerleaders dancing to the music of the Winchester band. It is still 14-3 Winchester as we start the fourth quarter. Winchester now going from right to left. Third down and 12 now. Ball on the Woburn 47-yard line. Ball handed off to Jeff Davis, who picks up about 2 yards. And that'll bring up a fourth down at about 9.
4th and 9 for the Sachems from the 45-yard line.
And that'll bring up the first punting situation for Winchester. Now here's where the selection of what goals they defend comes in. They now have the wind and they're punting with the wind. Winchester has called timeout. And as I was saying, they're going to be punting with this wind, the swirling wind, and pretty much in a good situation to try to bury Woburn back deep.
That's all you want to do. I think that's what Coach Pirani is telling the kicking team right now is, hey, guys, try to pin the ball deep. Try to pin the Tanners back as deep as you possibly can. If it takes a squib kick, do it with a squib kick. But just make sure you pin the Tanners back deep. Try to get them deep about the 10 or the 5-yard line if you can.
Because in all honesty, Woburn now has the clock against them. They need to score 2 touchdowns to win this game.
Really? Yeah, and the way the defense is playing here in the second half, it's going to be tough.
And they're doing it into the wind, which is going to be even more difficult.
You know, if you talk about shifts and you talk about different things about this Winchester team in '97, there's been a lot of positives taken out of this team.
Mike Morris back to punt. A high end-over-end kick. And the ball's rolling down towards the goal line, and just went into the end zone for a touchback.
I almost looked good, didn't I?
That looked like it was headed right for the pylon.
I almost looked good on that one. I almost predicted that.
Very close there, Al. And in all honesty, that kick, the way it landed, it could have bounced anyway, but just bounced a little too fast for the Winchester players that were diving to get to it to try to stop it. 9 minutes and 16 seconds left to go in the game. Woburn trailing 14-3 now must mount a drive.
I'm always thinking about coming out of retirement and going back into coaching, Rich. It's easy up here, but down there it's very difficult.
Absolutely. So 10. 2 wideouts go to the far side of the field.
John O'Connor.
Would Mr. John O'Connor please report to the press booth? Mr. John O'Connor.
Johnson rolls out to his left. He's looking deep. He's got a receiver open. Incomplete.
Again, Matt Howland played it very, very well with his defender, and he was right there to make the play.
He had Chris Callahan wide open, and there was where the wind. As we watch the replay, we'll see how the wind holds this ball up. He had the receiver behind the defense, and the receiver had to come back to the ball.
I also think Matt Holland did a great job of staying with the defender.
He stayed right with the ball.
Yeah,
He tracked the ball very well on that play. That would have been a pretty big heave to get it to where that receiver was. 2nd down and 10 now, ball on the 20-yard line. Johnson back, hands off up the middle to Bruno. Breaks out to the outside. He has the first down and is knocked out of bounds just around the 36-yard line.
This is a guy you don't want to allow to get a big run and establish the Tanners running game. You want to keep him neutralized. Because one score and the Tanners are back in this football game, Rich.
Absolutely. There's still 9 minutes left in this game. That was a pickup of about 16 yards on the play, 16 or 17 yards. Gives them good field possession and a first down. Johnson goes back. And incompleted pass. That was a lot of the crowd calling for an intentional grounding, but he did have one of the Callahans. He did have Chris Callahan in the vicinity as he shoveled that ball out towards him.
I guess that pass is incomplete to number 14, Chris Callahan.
An incomplete pass. Here comes the replay. We'll see if indeed the receiver is in the vicinity if we got a wide enough angle on the replay.
I say he was.
Well, you can't see it from there, but Callahan was moving back towards the ball, and that's enough for the refs to say. And plus, he was outside the tackle box. So, all right, that makes it 2nd down and 10. Johnson back, has protection. Ball sitting over the middle, and a great grab for the first down in the middle of the field by number 20, Mike Callahan, tackled by Jeff Davis. That was a fantastic catch.
Really, with the wind swirling and everything, did a great job of hanging on to that. Right here, watch this. This is just a great catch by Callahan. He goes two guys on him too, and he still hung on to the ball.
He had Davis all over him, and he made the catch. All right, that's a first and 10 now for the Tanners on the 48-yard line, their own 48. Ball handed off to Bruno up the middle, hit at the line and stopped for a gain of about 1 yard.
If Bruno wasn't brought down, he would have gotten at least 20 yards on that play. If he hadn't been tripped up, at least.
Tackle made by Bill Fleming. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 or 9 yards to go. Ball right at midfield. They can't do it a yard at a time, Al.
No, they've got to. Despite the wind, they've got to go upstairs.
Driscoll goes in motion. Ball is pitched to Driscoll. He's going to throw it. He gets the ball up into the wind. Incomplete.
There could have been, on a situation like that, Rich, you could have had offensive pass interference there. The way the guy came, the guy came back and knocked his defender out of there. Could have been.
That he was going for the ball. In all honesty, the refs will call that incidental contact. That was, again, there you see the wind in there.
I don't know about
Driscoll's
that one.
not the quarterback. He lofted the ball up there and it got caught in the wind.
I don't know about that. The way the defender came back and took the Winchester guy out of that play, close call. I mean, you and I actually disagree on something?
We actually disagree on something. See, I think they could have called that defensive pass interference anything because the Winchester player wasn't looking at the ball. Regardless of what we think, it's 3rd down and 8. Shotgun formation. Johnson going deep and almost intercepted. And it falls incomplete at about the 20-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down.
I'll tell you what, Mike Rosilio did a great job of staying with the defender. If he just could have gotten out a little bit more, he would have had that ball.
We're going to watch that again. There's the ball going up there. And again, an excellent. He had that ball intercepted, and the receiver turned into a defender and knocked it away.
Tell you what, Rosilio did a great job of staying with them.
Good defense on that play.
I'll tell you, Pirani did it. John Pirani has done a great job here in the second half, making the adjustments that he's had to make, and Coach Colby as well.
4th down and 8. Shotgun formation, 3 wide receivers. Pressured, ball's lofted out to the side, looking for Woodson Michael. The pass is incomplete, and the ball will go over to Winchester on downs.
Woodson Michael was looking for an interference call on that one, and that definitely was not interference. Both guys were going for the ball at that time, and they're the cheerleaders again.
Taking a look at that play again. The defensive end, the ball goes out there to the side, and the defender got there at the same time the ball did. 1st and 10 for the Sachems, ball at midfield. Ryan Duffy takes the fake up the middle, and Jeremy Carroll tries to get something on the right and picks up about a yard.
Ball carried by number 12, Jeremy Carroll. He's taken down by number 53, Eric Barkov.
And in the game right now, my main man, number 88, Fritz von Mehring. I knew I'd get to say his name at least once today.
Got to call his name at least once a game. Fritz comes split out to the near side of the field. Wishbone behind Jeremy Carroll. 2nd down and 9 yards to go. Ball handed, fake to Ryan Duffy up the middle again, and Jeremy Carroll turns the corner and picks up the 1st down.
I don't know. Our player of the game is getting tougher, Rich. For Winchester.
By number 10, Woodson Michael, and that's good for a station 1st down.
Rich just said off the air he wants to give it to a senior, but the quarterback Jeremy Carroll is doing an outstanding job. It's going to be tough.
1st and 10, ball on the Woburn 37-yard line. 7 minutes left to go in the game. And flags fly on the play. And that's an illegal procedure call against Winchester.
Penalty against the Sachems. They'll push it back 5 yards.
Seven minutes exactly left to go in the game. 1st down and 15 now. Sachems have the ball on Woburn's 43-yard line. Ball's handed off to Ryan Duffy. Pickup of about 2 yards.
Ball carried by number 9, Captain Ryan Duffy.
The clock is increasingly becoming the enemy of Woburn. Winchester is in no hurry to get their plays off as long as they take up all of the play clock. 2nd down and 13 now to go. Ball on the 46-yard line of Woburn. Double wing formation behind Jeremy Carroll. D'Entremont in motion. Carroll fakes to Duffy and cuts off tackle and picks up about 7 yards.
Right now, what Winchester's going to do with a 14-3 lead, sure, they'd like to put another 6 points on the scoreboard, but I think these types of plays are take off as much time off the clock as you can and not allow your opponent to get back into the football game.
Play the clock. Fritz von Mehring comes out now, and Brian Curry comes into the game. A former winner of the Gloria Foods Player of the Game.
And, you know, we've been kidding around, we've been fooling around up here, but we really want to thank a lot of people. We want to thank Sal Horacio for providing all the trophies to us, and Nick's Place for allowing us to have lunch on Saturday afternoons, and Domino's Pizza, and everybody. Thanks an awful lot. We really appreciate it.
Carroll took the ball and carried it around the left side, and he's very close to a Winchester 1st down.
He's taken down on the play by number 1,
And he did get the 1st down, and apparently Woodson Michael is upset about something.
1st down, Sachems.
I think he wanted a flag. Carroll unofficially 22 for 153 yards. Boy, the Patriots could use him, right?
Yeah. Curry comes split out to the near side of the field with the wishbone behind Carroll. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in the game. Winchester still up 14-3. Carroll rolling out to the right, pitches it to Brian Dontramon, who turns the corner, cuts out, and there is a couple of flags on the play. Dontramon picks up about 14 yards, but we'll wait to see the call.
Winston Michael flags down on the play.
Going to watch the replay here, see if we see what the call would be. There's the pitch. I believe I saw what they were calling as the hold on that play off on the right. That'll step the ball back 10 yards from the point of the foul.
It's an offensive holding call against the Sachem. They'll push it back 10 yards.
That'll make it first down again and about 22 yards to go.
It'll be about first and 22 for the Sachems from the 10 and 39-yard line.
Just a tick under 5 minutes left to go in the game. Wind is now a crosswind blowing here. Still blowing pretty strong, over 20 miles an hour. Carroll rolls to the left, keeps the ball himself, cuts through a hole, gets down to the 30-yard line, a pickup of just inside the 30, a pickup of about 10.
Number 12, Jeremy Carroll. He's taken down by number 40, Matt Sullivan.
And as the time is winding down here in the game, we want to thank some of the folks that did the Thanksgiving Day football game today. They did a great job. Joe Gilberto, Pat Spencer, John Holland, Alan Eider, Tom McNamara, who's always doing a great job. Of course, our producer, Tim McAllister. Also, Andrea Fotopoulos, who does a great job. You may not see these people on TV, but they do a terrific job behind the scenes. Without them, we couldn't do this.
Second down and 12 now for the Sachems. Ball just inside the 30-yard line on the 29. Carroll again rolling to the right, going to the left rather, and he is knocked out of bounds just above the 20-yard line. Picks up about 6.
And also Matt Kurbisky. These guys do a terrific job every week. They're always there, and they exemplify what Media One is all about. It's volunteers helping us out and doing everything that they need to do to bring these productions to you.
Woburn has called timeout on the field. There is 4 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the game, with Winchester leading 14-3. Al, that's right. You know, a lot of times the behind-the-scenes people are never noticed.
That's right.
And they really make things happen for us, and we thank the people from Media One.
Really?
I'd like to give special thanks to someone who has nothing to do with Media One, from Marianne Kozlowski in Reading, who provided us with a lot of background material for the Reading game. Without her, we couldn't have had, or Al couldn't have done some of the things he did in that game last week.
Really, I mean, it's people getting involved with local productions, getting involved with local television. If you have an opportunity to do it, please get involved with it. You're going to find you're going to enjoy it, and that's what local programming is all about. It's getting involved and helping out. As our producer is giving us the telephone number, it's 721-2050. You can ask for any of the production people. They're more than glad to help you out.
Third down and 4 now. Ball just on the 21-yard line. Carroll again, fake around the left, cuts inside, picks up the first down, and is stopped down on the 15-yard line.
Just to add one other quick thing, we're not the stars, Rich. The production people are the stars. It's easy for us to pick up a mic, describe what's going on here. Who are the real stars? Are the folks that come out here hours before we even get here, put the cameras up, put the things that they need to put in place to make the productions. They're the stars.
And the people who edit the tapes, the people who make it available for you to see later on, down the road on TV, they're the ones who bring it to you. You listen to us, you look at us, but they make it possible for you. Now we have a first down and 10 on the 15-yard line. Again, same play, the option play over to the left, down to about the 10, a gain of about 5 yards, 4 yards for Jeremy Carroll. And The clock keeps ticking down. Under 3.5 minutes left to play.
He's taken down by number 42, Mike Provenzano.
I'd like.
Timeout, Woburn.
Okay, Rich and I have our players of the game.
We have our players of the game, barring anything shocking happening late in the game. Jeremy Carroll, 26 carries for 182 yards. Those are the kind of numbers I was expecting to see starting at 12:30 today from Barry Sanders.
I like that.
You think Jeremy Carroll thought at the beginning of the season that he'd ever hear his name mentioned in the same breath with Barry Sanders?
No. Did he ever think he'd be a starting quarterback?
I think again, it gives Winchester a lot to build on. Their running backs obviously are graduating, so they'll need to bring up some of the younger running backs into the mix. But this has been invaluable experience for Jeremy Carroll. Frustrating for Mark Sullivan, who we see on the sideline with his arm still in the sling, who's looking forward to basketball season.
Yeah, he's a great basketball player as well.
2nd down and 6, ball just outside the 10-yard line of Woburn. Carroll again moves to the left, follows his blockers, turns in, and gets knocked out of bounds just outside the 5-yard line. There is a flag on the play. It could have been motion on, and it is preliminary signal is illegal motion on Winchester.
And one other guy we want to thank up here this morning, Jim McKenzie. Jim McKenzie providing us with a lot of great stats. Jimmy, good to see you.
Well, Al, I jinxed it at the end of the first half when I mentioned the penalty-free game.
Yeah,
But
you did.
It's an illegal motion penalty against the Sachems. They'll push him back 5 yards.
We see our commuter rail is still running even on the holiday.
15-yard line.
Well,
2nd
people
down
need
and
to
11,
get to their
ball on the
destinations,
16.
Rich.
Blitz coming off the corner. And Carroll is hit and stopped for a loss of about 5 yards.
Carroll's taken down by number 67, Captain Richard Jocelyn.
Okay, we're going to take a look at that again.
15 for the Sachems from the 10 or 20-yard line.
Going over to the good penetration from the middle. I was looking at the blitz coming off the corner the other way.
As time is winding down here in this football game, there's a lot of things that we can look back at the Winchester Sachems, and I'll talk about it right after this play.
Curry split to the left, Von Marion to the right. Carroll was looking to throw the ball and cut inside to a hole and picked up about 4 yards. That'll bring up a 4th down.
When this season began back in late August, Labor Day week, everybody was talking. How could Dave Berman schedule 2 tough opponents? How could he schedule a Falmouth and then an Everett? Dave Berman knew exactly what he was doing when he scheduled those 2 tough teams. He was building character for this Winchester team. Yeah, you can go out and get a Division III, you can go out and get a Division IV opponent, but he wanted to get teams that would be of equal value that Winchester would be able to compete with as a reflection of the Middlesex League, saying, hey, the Middlesex League is a strong league. We can go up against anybody and we can give you a run. And in those games, they split. They went 1-1. So that should say something about the Winchester team.
You know, here we are. We're at the 2-minute warning, by the way. That's absolutely right. You don't make your team any better by making your non-league games cream puffs.
Right, exactly.
You want to make them tough games, and I think we saw the character of the Sachems come through in the second half of the game against Everett.
Well, yeah,
Everett
exactly.
is going on probably to a Division I Super Bowl.
And I'll tell you what, in that second half of that game, it really showed that Winchester team was serious, and they would be a tough opponent, and they were tough for all those weeks going into that Reading game. And it really came down to that final game with Reading last week that really decided who would be going where. You know, Winchester has a shot providing what happens with Wakefield and providing what happens with Reading. It doesn't matter whether or not they go to the Super Bowl. What matters is they are a winning championship caliber team, and they will be back.
There's no shame in an 8-3 season. I know a lot of people may be disappointed because it looked like they were marching straight to the Super Bowl. A great defensive game a couple of weeks ago by the Red Devils of Burlington did that, and a really tough fought and a hard loss for them to take against Reading. But that's the way it is. There's nothing easy in the Middlesex League.
Right. And I'll argue with anybody on any day that the Middlesex League is one of the best high school football leagues and can go up against anybody and challenge anybody, as they did with the Greater Boston League.
Yep.
And they also did with Falmouth. Look what they did to Falmouth.
Yeah, they beat
and
Falmouth
was
well.
considered to be one of the better football programs in the state. Dave Berman is a great athletic director, and he scheduled some tough opponents.
4th down and 11. And Carroll is going to throw. Nobody open. Now he tries to hit Von Mering in the end zone, and it's incomplete.
How appropriate would it have been for Fitz Von Mering to come up with a touchdown?
Ball will go over on downs now to Woburn. And we have, as we mentioned, we have chosen our players of the game. We'll announce them after the game when we.
First and 10 for the Tanners from their own 15-yard line.
Yeah. 1st down and 10 now for Woburn. Al is making his way down the field so we can get our players of the game together for our after the game interview.
Pass complete to number 20, Mike Callahan.
Pass was thrown and was complete to Mike Callahan. Jeff King knocked him out of bounds for a gain of about 7. Bring up a 2nd down and 3 yards to go. 1 minute and 47 seconds left in the game, as the Winchester Band begins to make its way towards the field for the after the game celebration. And we don't want to celebrate too soon. Johnson back to pass and throws the ball incomplete. Looking for Nathan Driscoll out around the 30-yard line. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3. As the Tanners attempt to get something going here with 1 minute and 42 seconds left in the game. Pretty difficult situation against the wind to get 2 touchdowns in this amount of time, in this weather. Two wide receivers go to the far side of the field. Single setback behind Johnson. Johnson back to throw. He's looking at a wobbly pass, knocked down by Ryan Duffy. And that'll bring up a 4th down with 1 minute and 38 seconds left in the game. Take a look at that play again. Duffy dropping back in the coverage. It was a wobbly pass, and he knocked it down.
Timeout on the field.
The last Winchester drive, although it didn't produce any points or any touchdowns, it only was a 34 drive, but it took 5 minutes and 53 seconds off the clock. That sort of time management is crucial when you're ahead in a game to keep the other team from being able to come back on you. We have an injured Winchester player on the play. It is Jeremy Carroll injured on the play. And we're going to go to a break right now. We'll be back with you in a moment.
Yo, check this. If you smoke 1 pack of cigarettes a day, you blow over $1,000 a year on smokes. Big bucks, right? Now multiply that by all the kids who smoke in Massachusetts. That comes to $70 million a year. Man, those cig pushers would love to get their nasty little claws and all that money. But you know what? We're gonna keep it, and we're gonna decide how and where we want to spend it. Man, $70 million? Do you know what we can do with all that money? Exactly.
We're back now. Jeremy Carroll is still down on the field being tended to. He's moving his lower extremities. I don't think it's serious.
Have a nice round of applause for number 12, Jeremy Carroll, for all of his efforts in today's game.
He's testing the leg.
Certainly worked hard enough.
And he's going to come off the field on his own power. And the first one out to help him out is the injured starting quarterback Mark Sullivan, whose place he took. It's a great example of team spirit by the Sachems. 188 yards and 28 carries for Jeremy Carroll. An amazing game today. 4th down and 2 now for the Tanners. Ball just shy of their own 25-yard line. Minute and 38 seconds left to play. Ball is pitched to Driscoll, turns the corner and gets up and gets enough for the first down. And at that point, the Tanners call timeout.
Ball carried by number 44, Captain Nathan Driscoll. He's taken down on the play by number 9, Captain Ryan Duffy.
All right, actually, they waved off the timeout since the clock was going to stop to move the chains. 2 wide receivers to the near side of the field. They've still got 72 yards to go, and they need another score after that. Driscoll takes the ball up the middle, picks up about 7 yards. And at this point, the Tanners call timeout.
Nathan Driscoll. He's taken down the play by number 32, Gus Rosillo.
Jeff Rosillo made the tackle on the play. 14-3 with 1 minute and 14 seconds left to go. And the Sachems come over to discuss their defensive strategy. Woburn needs to make something happen immediately and then recover an onside kick to have any hope in this game at all. Stand by after the end of the game. Al and I will be down on the field with the dual players of the game, one from Winchester, one from Woburn, both courtesy of Gloria Foods. And so we'll honor the best players on each team on this Thanksgiving Day game.
Second and 3 for the Tanners from their own 36-yard line.
2nd down and 3. Ball is on Woburn's 36-yard line. Pretty much there's no deception on a play like this. We know they have to go deep.
How about another round of applause for the Great Sachem cheerleaders?
Driscoll goes in motion. Johnson back, a quick pass out to Driscoll on the sideline. Cuts down the sideline and is knocked
Pass is complete to number
out of
44,
bounds right at
Driscoll.
midfield.
He's pushed out of bounds by number 84.
So
Brian
pickup of
Perry.
about 14 yards. Only used about 7 seconds. Woburn's not giving up, and they're actually using the clock fairly well here. Ball is on their own 49-yard line, just this side of midfield. Ball handed off to Driscoll, goes straight up the middle and is stopped inside the Winchester 45-yard line for a gain of about 7.
Ball carried by number 44, Captain Nathan Driscoll. He's on the play by number 32, Gus Rosillo.
The clock continues to run. 2 wide receivers come to the near side of the field.
Timeout, Woburn.
And now Woburn takes a timeout with 43 seconds left to play. They'd been managing the time very well up until that point, but they ran about 12 seconds more off the clock trying to get a hurry-up play under it and then finally used the timeout. And at this point now, the crowd is beginning to head for the exits here at Knowlton Stadium. I know everybody can smell the turkey cooking. It's turned out to be a pretty nice day here. except for the wind, the sky is basically clear. Looks like it's going to be a great day to go have a fantastic Thanksgiving dinner with our families. I can certainly assert that the players on both teams have earned their turkey today. Second down and 3 now. Johnson back to throw, looking deep, and throws the ball incomplete. Was looking for Nathan Driscoll down around the 20-yard line. That'll bring up a third down and 3 now. The ball on Winchester's 44-yard line. Winchester shuttling some defensive players into the lineup here. Shotgun formation, 4 wide receivers for Woburn. Inside handoff to Bruno, and that fools no one.
Ball carried by number 30, Derek Bruno.
Scott Penna was the first one there. Matt McGowan both in on the tackle.
Scott Penna.
And Woburn has called another timeout.
Timeout Woburn, and that'll be their last timeout of the game.
And that's Woburn's final timeout of the game. Here's the replay on that play as Scott Penna in the middle of the Winchester defensive line just stuffed the offensive line of Woburn and stopped that play for a loss. Scott Penna has really delivered a huge game for the Sachems today. We've called the name of a number of different people, including John Fader and Ryan Duffy making tackles. But as I mentioned to Al before, Scott Penna has really done a magnificent job on the defensive end of occupying more than one blocker. And his right tackle position on offense has opened up a number of holes that enabled Jeremy Carroll to get the yards he got. 4th down and 6, 28 seconds left in the game. Johnson back to throw, looking deep, and the ball is complete to Woodson Michael down inside the 20-yard line, and I see Coach Donahue down there because I saw the push too.
Pass is complete to number 10, Woodson Michael.
Here we go on the replay. Let's see if we can see it. The ball is up in the air. Well, we're not going to see it there, but it sure looked like Michael pushed off before that ball got down to him. 21 seconds left to play. 1st and 10 for Woburn on the 16-yard line of Winchester. Johnson rolling to his left. He's looking in the left corner of the end zone, and the ball is just out of reach. Just out of reach of Mike Callahan, who was asking for a flag. None was forthcoming. And we have some fans around here who seem to agree with Mike Callahan's assessment that there should have been a flag thrown. I guess in the last couple of minutes of the game, they're just letting them play. 2nd down and 10, 15 seconds left in the game. Jimmy Johnson now has one man in motion, 3 wide receivers now. Goes back to throw, rolling to his left. He hits Driscoll, who is hit and knocked out of bounds on the 5-yard line with 8 seconds left to play in the game. Well, one thing we could say about the Tanners of Woburn, there is no quit in this team, and they are intent on putting another score on the board before the end of the game today. And now Winchester has called timeout because they are equally intent on not letting Woburn put another score on the board today. Once again, Al and I will be with you right after the finish of this game with the 2 Gloria Foods players of the game. Stand by for that as we honor the players whose impact has been the most on either side of the ball. I am contractually forbidden from revealing their names until we come back from the next break. But I'm sure at least on one end of it, you may be able to guess. Sachem's defense is coming back onto the field for this last 1 or 2 plays of work for this season. First down and goal from the 5-yard line. Woburn sends 3 wideouts to the near side of the field. Callahan in motion over to the far side of the field. Johnson now rolling to his right, looking into the end zone, and it's incomplete through the end zone. And there is a Woburn player down on the field.
Pass is incomplete.
And he's up. Now he's up. Okay, we're going to watch the replay on that. He's got some receivers at the back line of the end zone with the ball just thrown a little too far. Actually, even if he'd have caught it, both his feet were beyond the end line. Rich Jocelyn was the injured player who's walked off the field. Oh, and there's another Woburn player down in the end zone. Apparently, from looking at that again, what happened to Nathan Driscoll was he was going in the back of the end zone. He ran into the metal post that's holding the crowd restraint ropes, and he banged it with his hip. And the coaching staff is over there with him. As 1 second remains on the clock. And he's up and he's moving off the field on his own power, and that's always good to see. Pretty tough when you get hurt with 1 second left in the last game of the season.
How about a nice round of applause for number 14, Chris Callahan, for all of his efforts in today's game.
And actually, now that I see the number is not 44, it's 14. It's Chris Callahan. And a lot of emotion on the Winchester side of the field, exhorting their defense with 1 second left in the game to not let the Tanners get the ball in the end zone. One play left in the season, let it all hang out. 3 wideouts to the far side of the field. Johnson goes up looking into that crowded corner, and he's thrown it way over, out of bounds, out of the end zone. And that's it. The gun sounds. The final score here at Knowlton Stadium is Winchester 14, Woburn 3. It's been a great game today. We'll be right back in a minute with the dual Gloria Foods player of the game. Thank you.
He ran for 28 carries today for a total of 180.
I think that perhaps there's a perception that in maybe 1 or 2 places
Have the opportunity to actually participate by calling in.
It intimidates some of the elderly people of the town.
So I welcome you, Dr. Richard, to our Dare to Speak Out show.
Used to be a smoking area at the school, which was littered with cigarettes all the time and filled with smoke.
I'm looking forward for anybody for phone calls. That the telephone number is 721-2050.
Do we have enough alternative activities and sites for the kids?
Back down here on the field at Knowlton Stadium for the Gloria Foods players of the game. First, from the Woburn Tanners, senior Rich Jocelyn. Rich, you kept your team in the game defensively in the first half. I know it's a tough loss for you, but you played a great game. Al, what do you think?
I think Rich Jocelyn did an outstanding job here today. Let's talk a little bit about the game. I know it's a tough loss to take. Let's talk a little bit about the game. You guys got off to a 3-0 lead, and then things just didn't go well for you. Let's talk a little bit about the game and the tradition and everything that went through this game today.
Well, they came out of the locker room. We were real confident. We thought we were going to come out. We had the edge. It was 3-0 us, like you said, and they got one big play, broke it open. And they got another big play. And that's what wins games, big plays. And sometimes we came up short in those two. And but all I did is kept thinking, we got to keep the team in the game. Maybe we can win in the end, the best we could. I worked as hard as I could.
Let's talk about today, your performance. You had a heck of a first half. You kept your football club in that first game, making some great hits out there.
Well, like you said, the first half, I was strong in the first half, but the second half, I would have liked to come out a little bit stronger. But it was only my second game at this position, and I tried to take care of my responsibilities and do the best I could. Like you said, keep my team in the game.
Rich, great job out there. That's why you're our MVP on the Woburn side. Continued success.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with our Winchester player right after this.
Wouldn't it be nice if everything were guaranteed like cable service?
Sorry to keep you waiting. Here's $20.
I'm sorry your table wasn't ready. Your dinner will be free.
It would be nice, but only your cable company offers you these guarantees: on-time service appointments or a $20 refund guaranteed, and on-time installation or it's free guaranteed. Cable TV, new spirit, new service, satisfaction guaranteed.
Too bad everything isn't guaranteed like cable service.
Welcome back once again with our second Gloria Foods Player of the Game presentation. And this one was no surprise to anybody. Jeremy Carroll, as we mentioned up in the booth earlier, Barry Sanders-like numbers.
Al, what's up, buddy? Nice everything.
Unbelievable. Just a great game for you, Jeremy Carroll. Let's talk a little bit about today's game. You came off a tough loss against Reading. You guys bounced back so well, and it was led by you.
Well, yeah, it was just, I think it was just a great effort. I don't know what to say. Just with a game like this, tradition like this, you're just so pumped up, can't even describe it.
Well, you had a tough situation coming in. Your starting quarterback, Mark Sullivan, goes down. Coach calls upon you to step into the quarterback role. A lot of things had to run through your mind early in the season.
Yeah, that's right. It was just, things happened, and we couldn't really do much about it. Didn't really have much of a choice. Just had to do what we could do against the adversity.
And I'll tell you what, you've worked that triple option so well all season long. I know Coach John Donahue put the ball in your hands, and you said to Coach John Donahue, I don't know if I can handle the triple option. How do you feel about it now?
I don't really remember saying I couldn't handle it, but...
That's what you said.
I did?
That's according to Coach John Donahue.
All right, well, just so I don't say that against Coach. Yeah, well, it was... I've just grown so much over the past year. Sophomore year was a big year, and then this year, every single game just helped me improve and mature.
Let's talk a little bit about the win today, 14-3. Great way to end the season.
Definitely. It was the only way we could go out after last week's loss to Reading, so it was just a great feeling.
Let's talk about the future of the Winchester Sachems. Things are looking great for the Winchester Sachems for next season.
Definitely. We're all going to be busting our butts in the off season, doing what we can do. Come back, give another run for it next year.
Jeremy, congratulations, continued success, and we'll see you in '98.
Right.
Rich?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Just a terrific game by the Winchester Sachems. They put in a great effort here today.
Well, Al, I'll tell you, this is what classic high school football matchups are all about. A crowd of people, emotion, a great first half by Woburn. Absolutely inspired first half against a team that had more weapons than they did to keep it close. But again, recovering, coming out of the locker room for Winchester, they came out and they did what they had to do to win the game. This was a classic, a great exclamation point on a great season.
It really was. It just said so much about this Winchester Sachems team, and we talked about it towards the end of the game, Rich. We talked about that Everett game. That Everett game really set this Winchester team up. It showed what kind of character this team had in the second half. They knew they were being outplayed, but yet in that second half, they came out and played very tough, and that really set the tone for this team. We said that at the beginning. We said that at the beginning of the season. In that second half, we said that would tell the story about this Winchester team. Yeah, they may not be going to a Super Bowl. They may not get the Middlesex League title, but what they got was character and the ability to win.
Well, that second half of the Everett game was it. We said that right away. Even though it was a loss, they showed they could play with the big boys. And he said they may not win this league. We still don't know what happened with
Right,
Wakefield and
exactly.
Reading, so anything can happen at this point. But at this point, at least they end the season on a positive note, and they're ready for another positive season next year.
And we hope to get Coach John Donahue on for an interview real quick. I know he's talking to a couple of reporters, so hopefully we can grab him real quick.
All right.
I'm going to see if I can scurry off.
Al's going to go and scurry off and talk, and I try to get Coach Donahue here. And I'd just like to thank, once again, everybody on the crew at Media One for making this possible, everyone involved in the athletic department here at Winchester High. They've made this possible for us to handle this year and made it possible for us to bring these games to you. Now we've got Coach Donahue coming in here today. Coach, great game. You made your adjustments at halftime.
We made a few adjustments at halftime. They were stuffing our inside running game pretty well, so we decided to get outside a little bit more, and our offensive line controlled the tempo up front. Jeremy Carroll did his usual great job reading the option, and I think defensively we did a pretty good job against a very skilled offense that could give anybody fits with their motion, one back, trips, the whole thing. It was a difficult assignment, and our defense came up big, I thought, today too.
Coach, I just want to talk a little bit about putting Jeremy Carroll into the situation of quarterback. You know, a lot of
choice.
He didn't have much choice. That's what I said to him. He says, I don't remember anybody telling him that. I thought he handled that triple option very, very well in the situations that he had to handle it when he was brought into that situation.
He's the kind of kid, he just loves to get the ball in his hands and make things happen, and we love to give him the ball in that situation. He read the option very well, and he's also the kind of runner, when he gets downfield, he's not going to go down from the first hit. He lowers his shoulder and knocks a few people over, and Woburn sending a lot of people after him. I thought he, with no turnovers either, made a big difference too.
And I thought also the influence of Mark Sullivan helping Jeremy Carroll really helped.
Mark was shouting out the blocking calls to help Jeremy out, because Jeremy does a lot of things well, but he's still learning, and that was great to see Mark over there. I mean, for a senior contributor who couldn't play, that was a great job by Mark.
And I just quickly want to say that you have two quarterbacks that work the triple option well. How many quarterbacks do you know in the Middlesex League that can work it well with two guys?
I think, well, Coach Prine does a great job with our quarterbacks in the training process, and it's a credit to him and the offense that we use. And we got kids who respond. I mean, they love to get the ball, and it's just a great offense. It's a lot of fun for the kids to play, and I think coaches enjoy coaching it too.
Coach, continued success here in Winchester.
I enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
And that's going to do it here at Knowlton Stadium. For Rich, for Coach John Donahue, and myself, and the entire crew, we thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.